The Vatican stands at a crossroads. The Catholic Church, for centuries a beacon of faith and moral authority, finds itself grappling with a legacy of secrecy and scandal. This institution, once seen as an unassailable pillar of virtue, now faces a crisis that threatens its very foundation. The sexual abuse crisis, a deep wound that continues to fester, has shaken the foundations of the Church, revealing a dark underbelly that many had long suspected but few dared to confront, eroding trust and leaving countless lives shattered. The pain and suffering of the victims are a stark reminder of the Church's failure to protect its most vulnerable members. While Pope Francis has acknowledged the horrors inflicted upon innocent victims and has taken steps to address the issue, his efforts have been met with mixed reactions. The Church's response has been criticized as inadequate and lacking in transparency. Many believe that the measures taken are too little, too late. The weight of these unspoken truths, hidden for far too long, continues to cast a long shadow over the Church. The silence has only deepened the wounds. The perception of a culture of secrecy and a reluctance to hold those in power accountable has fueled anger and disillusionment among the faithful. This disillusionment is palpable in the empty pews and the somber faces of the congregation. This crisis of trust extends beyond the issue of abuse, encompassing concerns about financial transparency, clericalism, and the Church's handling of dissent. The faithful are demanding answers and accountability. Pope Francis's papacy has been marked by a tension between his genuine desire for reform and the deeply entrenched resistance to change within the Vatican. His vision for a renewed Church is often at odds with the old guard. His efforts to address the sexual abuse crisis, while commendable, have been met with resistance from some quarters, highlighting the challenges of confronting a culture of silence and self-preservation. The road to meaningful change is fraught with obstacles. The Church's credibility, once unshakable, has been deeply compromised. The faithful are left grappling with their beliefs and the institution they once trusted implicitly. The path to healing and renewal necessitates a resolute commitment to transparency, accountability, and a willingness to confront the sins of the past. Only through genuine repentance and reform can the Church hope to mend its fractured relationship with its followers. Only then can the Church begin to rebuild trust and regain its moral authority. The journey ahead is long and arduous, but it is a necessary one for the survival and integrity of the institution. From the bustling streets of Manila, where life moves at a frenetic pace, to the hallowed halls of the Vatican, steeped in centuries of tradition and history, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle embodies a different kind of leadership, one rooted in humility, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the poor and marginalized. His approach is not just about words, but about actions that speak volumes. His journey, far from a calculated ascent to power, has been marked by a deep faith, a profound intellect, and an extraordinary ability to connect with people from all walks of life. His charisma and genuine interest in others have made him a beloved figure. Born into a devout Catholic family in the Philippines, Tagle's early life was shaped by the values of service and social justice. These values were instilled in him from a young age, guiding his every step. His academic brilliance, evident in his theological studies and his doctorate in church history, laid the foundation for a life dedicated to understanding and interpreting the teachings of the Church. His scholarly pursuits were always intertwined with his pastoral mission. Yet, it is his genuine empathy, his ability to see Christ in the faces of the poor and the suffering, that has endeared him to millions. His presence brings hope and comfort to those in need. Tagle's tenure as Archbishop of Manila was characterized by his pastoral approach, his willingness to immerse himself in the lives of his flock, and his tireless advocacy for the poor. He was not just a leader, but a servant to his community. He shunned the trappings of power, choosing to live simply, ride public transportation, and visit the slums, listening to the stories of those often ignored by society. His humility and accessibility made him a true people's cardinal. His leadership style, a stark contrast to the often perceived aloofness of the Vatican, resonated with Pope Francis, who recognized in Tagle a kindred spirit, a man who understood that true leadership lay not in the exercise of power, but in the service of others. His life and work continue to inspire and uplift countless individuals around the world. Cardinal Tagle's leadership is defined not by titles or positions of authority, but by his unwavering commitment to humility and service. He embodies the spirit of servant leadership, placing the needs of others above his own and leading by example. His actions speak louder than words, demonstrating a genuine concern for the poor, the marginalized, and the forgotten. He shuns the trappings of power, choosing instead to walk alongside the people he serves. His willingness to ride public transportation, visit the slums, and listen attentively to the stories of those often ignored by society speaks volumes about his character and his approach to leadership. He leads not from a position of detachment, but from a place of deep empathy and understanding. Tagle challenges the traditional notion of leadership as an ascent to power, arguing instead that true leadership lies in making oneself fully available to those they serve. He embraces humility, rejecting self-promotion and focusing instead on empowering others. He believes that leadership is not about wielding authority, but about fostering a sense of shared responsibility and collective action. His emphasis on humility and service resonates deeply in a world often obsessed with power, status, and self-promotion. His example offers a refreshing alternative, a model of leadership grounded in compassion, empathy, and a genuine desire to make a difference in the lives of others. Tagle's vision is, well, nothing short of revolutionary. By integrating advanced technology with sustainable practices, they aim to create a future that's, both innovative and responsible. Imagine a world where efficiency and eco-friendliness go hand in hand. That's the kind of transformative potential we're talking about here. It's not just about progress, it's about progress with a purpose. Cardinal Tagle is often seen as a beacon of hope in the Catholic Church. His empathetic approach and deep understanding of the challenges faced by the modern world have earned him widespread respect. Many believe that his leadership style, which combines compassion with a strong sense of justice, is exactly what the Church needs in these tumultuous times. Tagle's approach to modernity and reform is both progressive and deeply rooted in tradition. He advocates for a church that is open to dialogue and willing to embrace change, yet remains steadfast in its core values. His vision includes a more inclusive church, one that listens to the voices of the marginalized and adapts to the needs of its followers in the 21st century. In an era where trust in institutions is waning, Tagle's potential to restore trust and unity within the Catholic Church is significant. His transparent and humble demeanor resonates with many, fostering a sense of connection and authenticity. By bridging gaps and promoting understanding, Tagle could play a pivotal role in healing divisions and bringing the global Catholic community closer together. Cardinal Tagle's enduring impact on the Catholic Church is likely to be felt for generations. His commitment to social justice, his compassionate leadership, and his forward-thinking approach to reform have set a new standard for what it means to be a leader in the Church. As we look to the future, Tagle's legacy will undoubtedly inspire and guide the next generation of Catholic leaders. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos.